Well, this is one of the problems which has been identified by the Commission and by the Member States. They did so quite early in the crisis. There have been requests from agriculture ministers and heads of state and government to take measures on this particular subject. I'd just like to call out that at the end of March, if I remember correctly, the Commission published guidelines to make it possible for Member States to act together and respond to this need, while at the same time taking account of the restrictions in place at national level for health-related reasons. As far as we are aware, measures have been taken by different member states and by economic operators in different member states at national level and also at regional level. Possibly colleagues responsible for employment matters have greater detail on this. I don't know if Marta would like to add something to this, but according to our information, the different member states have approached this from very different angles. When it comes to agriculture, we haven't got a general overview of the situation which we could share with you. Marta, would you like to add something on this?
Merci. Non, je pense que...
No, I think that Danielle was very clear on the situation. It's quite right that on the 30th of March, the Commission adopted guidelines, not just on seasonal workers, but also on workers who have to cross borders to go to work, whether we're talking about frontier workers, detached workers, or people working in critical sectors, for example, in healthcare, etc. And the situation is highly fluid. The Commission is in contact with member states to obtain information. But the situation is changing all the time. And different member states have adopted different national solutions. So we can't really comment on a specific case or a specific member state, but we are obviously trying to keep an eye on the situation as it develops day by day. Yes, thank you. I see David's asking for the floor. Is it on this subject, David?
On va te passer la parole un instant.
I'm going to give you the floor. Just a second. Yes, good afternoon, Eric. Yes, good afternoon. It's on this subject, even though it's probably for Adalbert. In Italy, there is a discussion underway on the possibility of regularizing the situation of several hundreds of thousands of irregular migrants who come to the country to work in agriculture, so that they can work in a normal way without being under threat of being removed from the country. Is there any sort of European rule, any sort of way of regularizing the situation of several hundreds of thousands of migrant workers? Adalbert.
Attends, on ne t'entend pas, Adalbert.
Adalbert, we can't hear you.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez maintenant?
Oui.
Can you hear me now? Yes? Carry on. Good afternoon, David. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, in general terms, just to be very clear, here we're talking about a measure which is still being discussed in Italy, and we haven't got any specific comments to make on the justification for this measure. Our principle is that we don't actually comment on measures until they enter into force. However, there's nothing to stop a member state, at least on the legal level, issuing residence permits to individuals whose situation they want to bring in order. Well, thank you. I don't think that we can be any clearer than that. So I think when it comes to agriculture, seasonal workers, we've dealt with that. Does anyone have any further questions for us today?